You cannot tell us that an innocent Kenyan arrested by the DCI officers, then 24 hours later, is dead in the police cell. We cannot have a country where the DCI officers are behaving like terrorists. We cannot have a country where the police officers are behaving like bandits. We cannot have such a country. We have the constitution. We have the rule of law. If you arrest someone because alimefanya makosa, you take him to court. Why did you arrest Alberto ojwang? Makosa yake ilikuwa gani? We want to know. Nani alitoa DCI officers from Nairobi to go and arrest Alberto ojwang in his rural area? We want to know. The complainant ni nani? Na makosa ya Albert ni gani? We want to know. We cannot have such a country. We cannot have such a country where I live in fear because of the DCI officers. We cannot have a country where the people who are supposed to protect me are the same people who are arresting me and killing me in the police cell. We cannot have such a country. We have to decide, and I told you, as Kenyans, we have to decide the kind of country we want to live in. We cannot have these police officers and DCI officers behaving like bandits. DCI officers are the ones deciding who lives and who dies. Since when? Which part of the constitution giving the DCI officers the mandate that they are the one to decide who is going to live and who is going to die? I want to know. I want to know. This is very serious. We cannot live in fear in our own country. We cannot have the clueless DCI officers, people who have not gone through training, enough training, coming out, arresting innocent Kenyans, then killing them in the police cell. We cannot have such police officers. We cannot have such officers in this country. We cannot have such officers. The time has come, we call these people out. We want to know the names of the DCI officers who went to arrest Alberto ojwang in his rural area. We want to know. You cannot tell us that Alberto ojwang alikuwa anajipiga ukuta, alikuwa anajipiga ukuta. Kwenda alikuwa mwenda wazimu. Mlipoenda mkwenda kumshika, alikuwa mwenda wazimu, aanze kujigonga kwa ukuta. Even mwenda wazimu yenye tunajua, mwenda wazimu kabisa amefika 90%. Hawezi ingia kwa polisi na aanze kujipiga kwa ukuta. There is something that the government of William Samoei Ruto must tell Kenyans. How can innocent Kenyan die in a police cell? How? The people who are supposed to protect Kenyans are the same people who are arresting them, not telling Kenyans makosa yake ni gani, then killing him in the police cell. We cannot have such a country. The time has come that we Kenyans must be hungry enough to demand for answers. We must be given answers. We cannot have a country where DCI officers ndio wana decide huyu ataishi, huyu atakufa kesho, huyu tutamshika lini, huyu atafanya. We cannot have such a country. We have the rule of law. We have the rule of law in this country. And personally, as minister, I cannot live in fear in my own country. Because of a DCI officer. Arresting you, 24 hours later you are dead. We want to know the kind of torture they were torturing this ojwang guy from his rural home mpaka fika hapa Nairobi. What was they doing for him? What was they doing for him? We must have the names printed out that the police officers were 4, 5, they were 3, and these are their names. These are the people who arrested ojwang in his rural area. In the police cell, these are the people who are torturing him. We want to know. If you are not arrested, because maybe your name, where you come from, is the same where the president is coming from. So they will not arrest you. They will protect you. But I want to tell you this. Your days are numbered. Your days are numbered. From those who killed Gen Z, from those who killed people and dumped them in quarry, dumped them in our rivers, from those who killed innocent people in last year protest, innocent young Kenyans, your days are numbered. You can be protected by the government of William Ruto now. But come 2027, after we are done with William Ruto, we will come for you. You will rot in jail, you piece of shit. You have been given the mandate to protect innocent Kenyans, to protect Kenyans and their properties. But wewe now you take advantage. Because wewe umwambiwa unaitwa polisi, wewe unasemwambia watu you are a DCI officer. Now you can arrest anyone, you can kill them anytime you want, you can do whatever you want because wewe unaitwa DCI officer. We cannot have such a country. We have the rule of law. And I'm not afraid to call you out for killing innocent soul, innocent Kenyan, the person who was supposed to be protected at all costs. We want to know makosa ya Alberto ojwang ilikuwa gani. Kwa nini you killed Alberto ojwang? Who ordered you to go and arrest him? And who is the complainant? We want to know. We cannot live like this. We cannot live in a country where the police have the mandate to decide nani anaishi na nani anakufa. Hawezi kuwa na inchi la kama hiyo. We cannot have such a country. We cannot have such a country. I will call you out if there is no one who will call you out because they are afraid. Let me tell you. Human beings only lives once. Hata we mwenyewe mwenye umeua Ojwang, Alberto Ojwang, you will one day die. And you will die a very painful death. But before you die, you must rot in jail. You must rot in jail. We want the names so that your process ikiendelea. I don't want to see this IPOA shit thing. I don't want. IPOA wao wanaendianga wale watu ambao waprotectiwi na serikali. Once they are being protected by the government, IPOA hawezi waendea. So we most likely we will not get justice for Alberto Ojwang. Most likely we will not get justice for Alberto Ojwang. But wait. We are recording what is happening in this country. Once we are done with William Ruto, we will go one by one, case after case, for those police officers and DCI officers and NIS officers and KDF officers who were out in June last year, 2024, and killed innocent Kenyans. And these ones now who have killed Alberto Ojwang, we will come for you. We cannot live in such a country where you think you are above the law. You are not above the law because you are a police officer. You are not above the law because you are a DCI officer. You are not above the law because you are a KDF officer. You are not above the law because you are the president. Mimi nilikuwa nafikiria Raila joining the government hakuna Mkenya atauliwa kwa sababu of such nonsense. So Kenya Kwanza government and ODM must tell us why they killed Alberto Ojwang. They have to tell us.
Yeah, so Kenya, the red squad is back and they are baying for blood. They are looking for the opportunity to blame everybody and not themselves for what is happening. They are tribalists. They are stoking anarchy. They are trying to incite the public against the police. You know, I really sympathize with the situation of Alberto Ojwang and, you know, whatever happened in that case. I've been a victim of arrest. I've been a victim of, you know, persecution by the state. And I find it very unfortunate when people miss the point and try to hijack a situation which can be handled legally. Especially the civil society, you know, the anarchists online and also the LSK. I think that the LSK can do much more than jump on single cases, you know, to star rage and try to, you know, market themselves in a very unfortunate way. Even the people who are being accused of these crimes, you know, they deserve due process. And that's how a lawful country works. You know, if you accuse a police officer, they also deserve to be heard in a legal way, in a court of law, through a competent judge, and to be heard in a manner that, you know, they don't come in a case where they are already been convicted and they're just looking for a noose to hang them. So I find it very unfortunate, and that's why I see the case of Alberto Ojwang as a case of hounds who are now, you know, out for the blood of the people. And it's not because they want justice for the family or for Alberto Ojwang. These people who are complaining about the case of Alberto Ojwang, what they are interested in is that more people die so that they can market the anniversary they want to have on the 25th of June. So that they can market, you know, the protests which they want to have in the country. They are not interested in justice. They want more people to die in very unfortunate way, and they don't care. You know, Alberto Ojwang is not the person who, you know, who died or was killed that day or that week. But you find it's the only case they could jump on because it's the only media-friendly case. It's the only publicity-friendly case. I wish that LSK went as far as setting up, you know, legal aid camps to assist people who cannot access justice in far-flung areas, in Turkana, in Transmara, in Tana River, you know, in areas like Garissa, Mandera, Isiolo, Wajir, you know, even in places like Kisumu, Kakamega, outside Nairobi, there are people who still cannot access justice because they cannot afford the legal fees which are required. So in Tanzania, I used to see something called NOLA, National Organization for Legal Aid. which was very clear, and it was being driven by the Tanzanian lawyers. I wish that Faith Adhiambo, instead of stalking Rage, marketing herself, walking in East, looking from police station to police station in Nairobi, and the police station which are important to Faith Adhiambo and her gang is just Kilaleshwa, Central Police Station, Kamkunji, it's just these stations around CBD. She's not going to the really needy police stations and getting the cases which are worth the support they need. So coming to this case of the DIG Langat, this case is very straightforward, and I think it's a very well thought out scheme, which people think that the police is the only institution of government which can stand between between the anarchists and the kind of fire they're willing to stoke. So what they're doing now, and it started with the case when Gachagua was, refused to abide by the summons and be investigated and be, arrested for hate speech, and he managed to successfully threaten the police and ensure that he was not arrested. And I blame it all on the Inspector General of Police. That why was Gachagua not arrested? Why was Gachagua never arrested and held to account for the issues of hate speech? Even if he was not going to be arrested, why was he not honoring the summons? Why was he not compelled to honor the summons of NCIC? If some people in this country are going to go as far as, get away with stalking Rage, inciting the public, and they cannot even be summoned because they want to be seen to be bigger than any institution of the country, I find it very unfortunate. And then they moved. Now they see in the police service don't want to attack Kanja because they believe that Kanja probably, I don't know, is one of their own, or is part of Plan C, or they want to ensure that they preserve him to be attacked last. But I think the attack on DIG, there's a nexus in the security here of very humble people. One of them is the DIG Langat. The other one is PS Ray. And the other one in the security sector, who is also very humble, soft-spoken, quiet, is the director of NIS, the Director General of NIS, Nordin Haji. These people are very humble, but they are very effective in whatever they do. And they have been able to stop, without much noise, and they've been able to stop a lot of illegalities which are going to be committed on Kenyans. So I find it very calculated that these Rage Squad were out in their numbers, waiting for the opportunity to strike and attack DIG Langat, accusing you of corruption, Nyumba Dubai. It's laughable because I know how the police work. I know who has the money in the police and who is not having, the kind of money where you can go and buy apartments in. Why should a DIG in this country go and buy apartments in Dubai and not build, whatever the properties in Kenya? You think that these people want to ban the country like you people and run away out of the country? I don't believe so. So the scheme is the scheme around the DIG Langat was started by some police officers who are very unhappy with the head of traffic in Nairobi, and these people, seeing that they think that the head of traffic is being protected by DIG Langat, are now using others to go for DIG Langat. And I've not known, and I've known of, I don't know him personally, but I've known of this DIG Langat from long time ago when he was the head of bomb squad in the police service, in the DCI. I have known him, I think he moved from there, he moved to the DCI, later went to, went to be part of the head of the investigations. I think later he became commandant of GSU, and now he's the DIG. I think it's very unfortunate to attack such a, because if there is any professional officer, I've known DIG Langat to be very extremely professional, and I've not seen instances. If you go to the GSU headquarters today, I think you'll get programs which were started. There's a church there which one of the pastors at the GSU interacted with us and was inviting us to. And if you go there, they'll show you some of the projects which were started. He built a whole secondary school there. In the short stint, he served as a commandant of the GSU. So I find it very unfortunate and very calculated that this Rage Squad, the anarchists, and their and their gang is looking for opportunity to ensure that DIG Langat is persecuted, is removed as a DIG because of just the fact that he's a Kalenjin. I don't find it pleasant that we are going to play into the hands of the mob who are looking for ways of causing anarchy, causing insecurity, destabilizing the country. I ask the DCI that the biggest mistake which was committed in this country is the fact that anybody or all the people who were behind the 2024 anarchy were never arrested. As people pursue justice for whoever they believe was murdered or was killed, unfortunately, we need to ask hard questions about who hijacked the Gen Z protest and caused anarchy, committed illegalities. Why are they not before a competent court of law? That is the question. It doesn't matter. I don't think even some of the people who are calling us out, I don't even think that you have the range to fight for justice, as some of us will always do. But, the fight for justice cannot be one way. Even the people you want to fight for justice, and you believe that you're fighting for justice, is you against the police now. Even the same police need some people to fight for justice for themselves. So I don't believe, whatever the accusation is being leveled, it's a very structured move. It is well geared. It is being engineered and driven by the Wanyumunyoro gang. They want to cause anarchy. They hope that, they can generate enough rage to market themselves for the anniversary of the 2024, criminalities which they committed. United States of America went after everyone, even the ones who went and hid in foreign countries, everyone who committed illegalities in the January 6th protest, the government went after them. In the Birmingham riots in the UK, the government went after them. Why are people not being held to account for whatever they did in 2024? The criminalities, the illegalities, what the civil society is not being held to account. I asked the Director General of DCI, go after criminals who destabilized the country, who caused chaos, who destroyed properties, who ensured that they exposed young people to the very unfortunate rage which they misused them and eventually led to their death. You have to go after these people, and the fact that you are not going after these people, it means that you are working very hard to ensure that President Ruto, we didn't vote for that president. The people who are very mad against him voted for him. And you are going to ensure that for the sake of this country, we can only remove somebody through a legal way. So if you are looking for shortcuts, you are not going to be part of that shortcut. Whoever you are, you are not going to be part of that shortcut. So I ask you all, please ensure that you prepare for the long ride. We have to ensure that the country stays on the legal path. If you are going to generate rage, if you are going to generate chaos, if you are going to help that people join you in your anarchy, tafadhali, this one is not for me and people are like-minded. We are not going to join you, but we want to ensure that the police come out in large numbers. We want to see the people who are being criminals. They must be held to account. Whatever you feel about Ruto, tutasort kwa ballot, but they must be held to account. And the people who are, attacking others using the digital means and using kids, exposing them. I'm seeing even Okina Pauline Mwangi who are working for Matiang'i, and Matiang'i went as far as hounding businessmen, looking for them. He took a businessman, a Somali. If there's one case I'm interested in solving, is this young Somali man who was picked by police officers, who killed him, who burnt him alive in his Range Rover. The case has not been solved up to now. The same people now know justice. We are jokers, man. We are complete jokers. So, it's very unfortunate. I send the condolences to the Alberto Ojwang's family. I hope that, they find justice in their quest to also understand what really led to the death of the young man. But also, I ask the family not to be misused. If you are going to be misused, then you're committing illegalities yourself. Don't allow your case to be used. Stay on that path. Tell them that we want to know who killed our son, but you don't want to abuse the process. That is how to fight for justice in a very sane manner. Otherwise, these people are going to exploit you. They're going to get money, money wired into their accounts for NGO purposes, for activism purposes, but you're not going to get closure. These people are not interested. I've been there, I've seen it all. These people are not interested in you getting justice. These people are interested in getting more money. These people are interested in protesting against the government. These people are not interested in any way in you finding closure in your case. So as you fight the police, tafadhali, prepare also to know that the police also have rights. Prepare to know that some of us are interested in people obeying the law, and also ensuring that we stay to be a country where due process is respected. You don't just wake up and assume that somebody is guilty, then unataka immediately amekuwa interdicted, immediately ashapelekwa jela, immediately amedeniwa bond. We will fight for justice, even for the people who hate us. Even them, if they're arrested, the people who are causing anarchy today, we will demand that it's due process. Lakini tusitafute hii shortcut ya kuattack government. Thank you.